Making money is a very easy game. And that is why in this video, I want to give you the 15 rules which you need to follow to the latter for you to be able to make money. Don't just sit there thinking you don't know how to make money. Every human being was born without knowing how to make money. They learned these rules along the way and they've been able to make money. That is why you need to watch the whole of this video, because these 15 rules are interconnected. You skip some of them, you'll be back to zero. You need to watch the whole video for you to connect all these rules and implement starting today. If you watch this video, you're going to understand how you make money, how you manage money, and importantly, how you multiply your money. You are all much welcomed to my channel. My name is Afagza Sifuna. I am a finance expert and qualified accountant, bringing you amazing videos about investing and making money each and every day. Having said that, the very first rule is that you need to solve problems. Don't just chase money. Out here, most people are approaching money wrongly. They wake up chasing money. But if you ask them, what problem are you solving? They might struggle to tell you. And if you're in a position, that is why you are getting a difficult time laying your hand on money. It's because you haven't begun with solving problem. When you wake up, all you see is money. Money is a tool which is exchanged for value. And at the center of value is solving problems. If you're not solving problems, why should you be paid? Okay? And the picture is bigger. People just see money. What you need to be seeing is that also, when you are solving problems, you are also building relationships. Those relationships you are building are going to result into referrals, you name it. And that is how you'll be able to make money on a regular. So, focus on solving problems, not just chasing money. And then, the second rule is that you need to build high value skills. You know, at the center of any exchange of money is value, right? Simply put, you are being paid to solve a problem. And the person who solves the problem better with high efficiency to the desired quality is the one who commands a high rate, right? Whether it is an employment in business, you name it. So you need to focus on building very high level skills. And I mean the skills in the digital era. You don't need to think of something out of the blue. Don't overthink. It's the simple things which you see each and every day. Case in point, this right here is a mouse, okay? If I give you this mouse here, are you able to sell it? If the answer is no, then it means you need to hone your selling skills, right? Because there's key things when it comes to selling. It is convincing the other person, it is handling objection and so forth as you are handling sales, okay? Do you know how to communicate? In case you have gaps in communication, you'll find it difficult for you to be able to make and scale money, right? Do you know how to negotiate? Okay? Do you understand the current technology which assists ensure there is efficiency in how you are delivering your outputs? All these are high value skills which you need to master for you to be in good standing. Then the third thing is that you need to build multiple streams of income. For you to be able to grow rich or make amazing amount of money, you need to build multiple streams of income. You might argue it is not easy. I fully agree. And that is why there's levels and steps to this thing. It is never easy. It begins with sacrifices. Case in point, if you are employed, why haven't you started a side hustle business 15 years into your employment? It is simply because you haven't learned how to sacrifice. And sacrifice comes from you being very intentional in utilizing the resources you have to trigger additional streams of income. If it calls for you, for example, to build new skills, right? To save and invest somewhere. Those are things you can do to increase your income. By whichever means, ensure you increase your streams of income, because through that, you'll be able to have money compared to any person out there who's relying on one stream of income. Okay? And then the fourth rule is that utilize the internet as your marketplace. Guys, gone are the days when people, for example, used to wake up and be like, someone is coming to knock on the door to sell something. Nowadays, sales has really transformed and gone digital. So utilize the digital space, the internet, whether it is the social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, or even other e-commerce platforms out there. Utilize these to be your marketplace, because you can push both services and goods through these marketplaces and be able to get clients who will be able to assist you, ensure you get money through exchange of value. Okay? And then the fifth rule is that invest in yourself first. Out here, it is amazing how people think whatever they are selling. For example, if it is this mouse, they think this is the product. Fair enough, it is a product, but the first product is you. Okay? How are you communicating? How are you presenting yourself? Are you coming through like someone who's trusted? Okay? Are you coming through like someone who knows what they're talking about? Are you coming through like someone who the other party will desire to do the business with them again? So invest in yourself. How you look, your grooming, how you communicate, how you move, and all these are bound to compound. Okay? So those are the key things which you need to do for you to be able to make money. You do this right in a right way, you'll be able to be on a good trajectory for you to be able to make money. Okay? Now let's move to the second bucket. Assuming you've begun making some money, how do you go about managing money? Because this is the biggest challenge most people out there have. I've given you an example. Someone has worked 15 years and they don't have nothing to show for it. The issue isn't they never laid their hand on money. The issue is they haven't learned how to manage money. And that is why when it comes to managing money, the very first thing, which is now point number 6 or rule number 6, is spend less than you earn. You've always had people say, live below your means. Yes, spend less than you always earn. If you are earning maybe even 50k Kenya shillings monthly and you're spending the entire amount, which capital are you trying to unlock for you to be able to build additional streams of income? The answer is none. Okay? If you are earning $500,000 and you are living on a rental house worth $250,000, where are your priorities? Because you're not purposing to unlock capital for you to be able to do important things. And that leads me to my second rule within this bucket of managing money, which is the 7th rule on this list. Pay yourself first. And by pay yourself first, I don't mean you pay yourself to indulge. I mean, whenever you get any income, people think in an opposite way. They think about expenses, catering for liabilities, and again, they continue waiting for the next paycheck. Ensure you rewire your thinking to always pay yourself first. And the essence of paying yourself first is that you are able to have money to invest. Case in point, you want to invest, for example, in treasury bills, in MMF, wherever place you want to invest in, pay yourself first. That way, you'll be able to be intentional about unlocking money for you to invest, to put down on business, you name it, as opposed to working very hard and you are just working for expenses. Okay? And then the third rule under this bucket of managing money, which is the 8th rule overall, is that you need to know very well where each of your shilling is going to. Guys, you cannot manage what you don't know. That is why you need to know very well where each of your shilling is going to. That, in fact, should be something every adult out there should be doing. Simply put, having a budget, being very accountable for them to follow their budget, it's going to be easy for them to be able even to do other things. Because if, for example, you're getting paid 50k Kenya shillings each and every month, you don't know where your money is going to. You don't know how much you're using or even what your budget is for maybe buying food, for transport, for entertainment. In case that's the situation, you are in a big mess, which you need to fix immediately. Because you need to know where each of your shilling is going to. Whether you are earning 10k, 100k, $500,000, ensure you know where each of your shilling is going to. And through that, you'll be able to make very deliberate decisions around money. Okay? And then the 4th point under managing money is that you need to avoid bad debts. Guys, bad debts are what really finishes people out there when it comes to their pursuit to make money and to grow money. Debt is good, but also debt is a double-sided sword. I'm talking about the loans you can take out there, whether it's commercial banks, loans from mobile applications, from people, you name it. You only need to have good debts. And the simple rule when it comes to having debt is asking yourself, the money you want to obtain, is it triggering another stream of income? Is it going to bring you a profit from business? Is it going to bring you interest from investment? And even if it's bringing interest, is the cost of that particular borrowing lower, much lower than the interest? Okay? And the third thing is, you need to ask yourself, is it triggering rental income? If the answer is, you are borrowing to survive, You are borrowing for fun. Cut that thing. That is bad debt, okay? And then the fifth rule under this category, which is managing money, and the 10th rule overall, is that build an emergency fund. That is very important. Every person out here, even the rich people, have emergency funds. You might think they are very rich, but you'll be shocked they have appropriated part of their money on emergency fund. It is not because people wish bad things to happen to them. It's because they know very well eventualities do happen in life. Maybe you're moving around small accidents. Someone you know or even yourself becomes sick and maybe you need money together for that. Maybe something that's electricity fault in your compound. All these things require money. If you don't have emergency fund, what it's gonna mean is that violates your budget. Reason being, you might end up borrowing to be able to cater for an emergency, which you should have planned for in the first place. Or even so, you might end up deflecting resources from somewhere important for you to be able to push to you being able to cater for an emergency. Okay? And then, having covered the second bucket, which is managing money, let's now talk about how do you grow money. Basically, multiplying money, because this is where the magic happens. The very first thing when it comes to multiplying money is that you need to invest in assets which give you money. Simply put, income generating assets. Guys, this is why the sacrifice I talked about kicks in. You can't invest in income generating assets if you're not very intentional about unlocking money for you to invest. A good chunk of people out there are working extremely hard. Fair enough. They are working very hard their entire adulthood. They are really toiling. Day in, they're waking up at 5 a.m. They are coming back home at 11 p.m. All that is good. You are hardworking. But as you are working hard, are you also intentional about investing in the assets which generate you income? Because it is the multiple streams of income which are going to assist you be able to escape that 9 to 5, okay? And then the second rule under multiplying your money, which is the 12th rule on this list overall, is that let compound interest do the heavy lifting. In investing, there's something called compounding. Simply put, once you put your money down on something, ensure you don't cash it out. Let that money continue multiplying exponentially to assist you grow your wealth in an exponential way. Case in point, if you have invested, for example, in shares, maybe at the Nairobi Securities Exchange, okay? Annually, maybe some of the companies you've invested in will pay you dividends, right? When they pay you these dividends, don't be in a hurry to cash the dividends out, thinking is a lump sum bonus for you. That's not a bonus. It is additional capital. Ensure you continue plowing it back to your investment, right? And if you do that, the rate at which your investment is going to be growing is going to be much higher. That's why you let these interests, dividends, coupons, profits continue working for you. That is the power of compounding, okay? And tied to that, the third rule when it comes to multiplying money, which is the 13th rule on this list overall, is that always think long term. Don't just be the kind of person who's thinking what you're going to eat tomorrow. You sleep today very comfortably as an adult, worried only about tomorrow. You are messing around big time. You need to be thinking about 6 months from now. Think about 1 year from now. Think 5 years. Think 10 years. Because one of the things people assume out there is that they have time. No, you don't have time. Time does fly. And if you don't plan for it very well, you will end up continuing to live by the day without really planning for any major investment, which is going to assist you lead the life which you desire. Okay? And then the fourth thing under this particular category of you multiplying money, which is the 14th overall on this list, is that reinvest what you earn. And by reinvesting, it means you thinking about, are you tapping into additional assets or investment which can give you better returns? Okay? I'll give you an example. Maybe you're having share price appreciation, dividends, maybe you're getting a profit from business. Don't tell yourself, because now you're working full-time, you set aside a business, it's giving you profit. Now you're using those profits to cater for your expenses monthly. You are catering for your expenses monthly. This is an additional stream of income. Reinvest, whether in the same business or something different, because it is through that particular investment that you're going to be able to increase your earnings. In case you don't reinvest, just as you're going to keep mark timing. And there is a difference between being a business owner and an employee. A person can start a business, but if they're not investing in setting up systems and so forth, they are literally employees. And then the fifth and last thing on this list, which you need to understand, which is rule number 15 and rule number 5 under the category of multiplying money, is that let your money work harder than you. What do I mean? You are already working very hard, okay? There is something called the compounding effect, okay? Or leverage of even utilizing money to work for you. Case in point, if you can spend money for you to be able to lock a business deal, of course, I'm talking about spending money in ethical ways. For example, you going to these symposiums out here, forums, you going to networking conventions, okay? You are having a potential client, you going out there to buy lunch for them as you speak about business and so forth. That is part of your money working hard for you. You don't need to be really begging people out here, and yet you can avail yourself in those forums where top discussions and business deals are locked. And as the money is talking for you, also ensure you are very honest and you follow to the latter. That is how relationships are locked, and then you continue scaling up whichever relationships and the money which you are locking from those relationships. Guys, those are 15 rules which you need to follow for you to be able to master the game of money. All these rules are interconnected because the 3 pillars feed into each other. You making money, you being able to manage money, and you growing money. None of them happen in isolation. So ensure you follow all these rules and you will see your financial fortunes change. I hope you got a thing or two which you can implement with immediate effect. Cheers guys, and catch up in the next video.